There's a very specific kind of warmth that appears on screen whenever Bradley Walsh sits next to his son. Not performed warmth. Not the kind presenters switch on for a camera. The real thing, the sort that's hard to fake convincingly for 6 episodes in a row across the other side of the world. And with Breaking Dad now back for a 7th series, viewers are getting exactly that warmth again, except this time there's a story behind it that almost didn't happen at all. Because here's what a lot of people watching probably don't realize. This series was never supposed to exist. After the 6th run wrapped, both Bradley and Barney spoke as though the show had run its course. Bradley said it outright, that this was it, that was the last one. Barney, ever the more sentimental of the two, pushed back gently, saying never say never, but even then it sounded like a soft goodbye rather than a promise. For a while, that's exactly how fans treated it. A finished chapter. A father-son adventure that had quietly reached its natural end. And then production listings started surfacing. Filming had happened. A new series was in the can. What looked like a farewell turned out to be a pause, and now Bradley and Barney are heading to Australia together for 6 brand new episodes, trading the American road trips of earlier seasons for the outback and the coastline, with Barney once again in charge of the itinerary and Bradley, as ever, bracing himself for whatever exhausting adventure his son has planned this time. That detail matters more than it might seem, because the format of this show has always leaned on a very specific emotional dynamic, Bradley playing the reluctant, slightly weary dad who just wants a quiet holiday, and Barney playing the enthusiastic son dragging him toward zip lines, extreme hikes, or whatever adrenaline-heavy challenge he's dreamed up next. It's a role reversal that audiences clearly respond to, watching the older, wiser television personality get outpaced by his own kid's energy. It works because it doesn't feel scripted. It feels like something a genuine father and son would actually put each other through. Which is really the whole appeal of this show in the first place. Viewers already know Bradley Walsh the performer, sharp, quick with a comeback, completely in control behind the chase's desk. Breaking Dad strips all of that away and hands you something far more unguarded. The tired dad. Proud dad. A dad slightly out of his depth in the wilderness, letting his son take the lead for once. That vulnerability is rare from someone who's spent decades being the most composed person in the room, and it's probably why the show has managed to survive this long, quietly outlasting its own supposed final season. But the family story doesn't stop with Barney, even if he's the one most viewers recognize from the screen. Behind the scenes, there's Donna Derby, Bradley's wife of more than 2 decades, who's been part of his life since long before Barney was even born. What's easy to miss is that Donna had her own career in entertainment well before she became known simply as Bradley's other half. She trained as a dancer, appeared in a well-known 80s music video, and later moved into choreography, at one point working behind the scenes on a show her own son ended up presenting years later. There's something quietly poetic about that overlap, 2 generations of the same household independently finding their way into entertainment from completely different angles. And then there's the part of the family story that rarely gets airtime at all. Long before Barney came along, Bradley had a daughter, Haley, from an earlier relationship. She's chosen a life almost entirely outside the spotlight, working in a completely different field, and by most accounts she and Barney share a close bond despite the 15-year age gap between them. It's easy to forget, watching Bradley banter with Barney across sweeping Australian landscapes, that there's an entire other branch of this family who made the deliberate choice to stay out of frame. That contrast says something interesting about how we experience celebrity families in general. We build an entire picture of someone based on the parts of their life they choose to show us. And Bradley has clearly chosen to share the road trip relationship, the one built on banter and mild suffering and genuine affection playing out in real time on camera. The rest of his family exists just as fully, just quietly, somewhere off to the side of that story. Maybe that's what makes Breaking Dad's return feel like more than just another travel show reboot. It's not just 6 new episodes of father-son chaos in Australia. It's a reminder that even the most familiar faces on British television are carrying entire private worlds behind them, most of which we'll never see and only occasionally get invited into. So as this new series lands, the real question might not be what challenge Barney throws at his dad next, but what it says about Bradley that, out of everything he could show us, This is still the relationship he keeps choosing to put on screen.